How do you unlock your best self? By tapping into your psychology in a way that makes success automatic. This is the question that I've asked with hypnosis for the last 4 years now, because I was always obsessed with psychology as a kid, coming from the background of someone who felt like a loser, someone who felt like my mind was in control of me rather than me being in control of my mind. I grew up very insecure, very self-critical and self-doubting, right? I had a very active mind, active imagination, ADHD, million miles an hour brain, but sometimes I was going a million miles an hour in the absolute wrong direction. But I studied Joe Dispenza, Paul Chek, all these different guys, so many different positive thinking gurus, right? I read How to Think and Grow Rich. I read The Secret. I read all these books. I knew about the subconscious mind. I knew that, life is what you make it. Your thoughts determine your reality. But it's like, well, how do I make my thoughts determine a positive one? How do I actually use all this shit that I've learned in a way that's productive, rather than just having this theoretical knowledge of, oh yeah, I'm the one that manifests everything. Why am I manifesting such mediocrity? Why do I still feel stuck even though I know that I'm responsible for making things happen, for making things change? So the process I've perfected for enabling this kind of transformation is called the hypnotic personality reset. Now, just recently I worked with a client, Connor. He's turned into one of my best friends. And when we started working together, he had 4,000 followers on Instagram, no real clear sense of his mission, very lost, didn't have a job at the moment, was looking for his next step, and knew that he had a whole lot more potential, but he wasn't showing and sharing that. And in between our first and second session, he grew to 20,000 followers on Instagram. He now is a leader who gets recognized in public. When we're hanging out, people come up to him, and the exact type of people that he's always wanted to influence and be surrounded by know him now. And he's having a measurable impact on the world, and his mission, he's got a new job, and his career has totally changed. Just similarly, I was working with a comedian, Mickey, and he is smashing it, right? We've done a few sessions now, and the difference in his confidence approaching performances has radically shifted, right? And because he feels different, the results, the reviews he's been getting, the attendance he's been getting has totally shifted, because he is now in a different psychology as well. And there's 4 phases to this process. There's 4 phases to how we can actually transition into a better version of ourselves. Now, the first phase is release. This isn't about forgetting the past, but it's about making sure the past doesn't dictate your future. So I want you to understand that right now, the brain is always trying to keep itself safe. And so the brain is trying to use the best information that it has available. The best information that it has available to predict your future is the past. So your past determines what you at the subconscious level think the future is going to be. Now, the issue with that is, if your past equals your future, then you feel like shit because you are stuck. Progress equals happiness. So your past carrying on. Clearly, if you're watching this, you have stuff about the past that you want to change. So the past carrying into the future is not a positive thing. And so what's brutal is your expectations for the future dictates how you feel in the present moment. So you're watching this video because you're not entirely satisfied where your life is at right now. And the reason you don't feel satisfied right now is because your expectations on the future are not 100% certain that it's going to turn into what you want. So I feel better and better every single day. My clients feel better and better every single day because our vision is manifesting. Our dreams, and we have more proof of that showing every single fucking day. We're getting more and more certainty that the future is going to be what we want. And therefore, because the vision of the future is better, we feel better right here, right now in the present moment. But because your subconscious is using the past to predict the future looks shit, and therefore you feel shit in the present moment. So first phase, phase 1, release, is all about releasing, removing, and resetting what your subconscious thinks of when it thinks about the past. This isn't forgetting memories. Oftentimes, some hypnotists, some subconscious mind experts will tell you that you need to remove those old negative memories. And we actually don't. Like, you've learned those lessons for a reason. The past is very helpful. And I'm sure you're the type of person that, you can take the silver lining out of any cloud. And that's really useful. But at a subconscious level, we're not forgetting, but this is you, this is your past experiences, and these are the ties. We need to come in and we need to snip those ties so that you're not a puppet pulled by the strings of your past anymore. You have freedom to create and explore and live without being dictated by the past. You see, there's something called the law of facilitation. The law of facilitation states that the more times a neurological route is traveled, the more likely it is to be continued to be traveled at the exclusion of all other routes. So the more times you've done insecurity in the past, the more times you've done self-doubt in the past, the more times you've held yourself back when there was a big opportunity, the more times you've hesitated to make a financial move, to make a trade if you're a trader, the more likely you are to continue to hesitate and repeat those past patterns. So we actually, I'll repeat that because that was not even English. What we have to do is cut the ties of your past, cut those repetitions out. We're not forgetting them, but we're removing the synaptic connections. How do we do that? Well, in the law of facilitation, it's frequency and intensity which dictates the route that we traveled. Now, frequency means the number of repetitions. In hypnosis, what we do is so many repetitions. Now, I can't fully explain how this works because this is part of the process, but with the number of repetitions we do psychologically dwarfs your life experience so far. So yeah, you might have done 100 reps down the insecure path. We're doing 100 billion reps down the confident path. That's what goes on in hypnosis. And secondly, intensity. So intensity, when we're at the subconscious level, you're feeling emotions at the most intense level. Your brain is firing at the most intense level. So yeah, you might have done 100 reps at 5 out of 10 intensity. We're doing 100 billion at 10 out of 10 fucking intensity, and we're overwriting the old patterns. You see, the brain can't have empty space. So you can't just remove negative patterns. That doesn't exist. You can't remove negativity. You've tried to think positive. You've tried not to think negative. The reason that doesn't fucking work is because there can't be empty space. You can't just selectively flick out these negative thoughts. That's not how it works. We have to overwrite them. So they're literally there, but we're a billion times stronger on top of them, and therefore they become irrelevant. That's really what I want to focus in on today. Phase 1, release. Phase 2, design. And getting your brain and body to accept this new version of yourself. How do you operate when you're not feeling the sting of the past, when you're not holding yourself back, when you're actually okay with going to a new level? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? How much do you actually have in your account? It's a wild feeling having more than you've ever even fathomed in your account. I've been going through that recently, and I was like, oh, this is incomprehensible relative to where I was a year ago. Like, that's not even that long ago. And it's just night and day difference when your programming shifts. Internal reality dictates your external reality, and hypnosis is the fastest way to recalibrate your internal reality. Therefore, it's the fastest way to recalibrate your external reality, your external belongings, your external surroundings, your friends. I have the most beautiful friends, I have the most beautiful clients, relationships, financial situations. Everything keeps getting better and better. And you see, that repeats the cycle we talked about at the start. Because I believe the future is going to be better and better, my present feels better and better, and that becomes more fuel for that pattern to repeat. My past is irrelevant. I was a Domino's pizza boy for 3 fucking hours, and I said, hell no, this is beneath my standards. I used to work from 6 a.m. till 7 p.m. in a gym 7 days a week to make $250 a week. That was it. That was it. And it's wild to look back on now. The past is irrelevant when you condition your mind to operate at a whole new paradigm, at a whole new level. So that's exactly what's possible for you. Phase 3, phase 4, we'll get into that sometime in the future. But the hypnotic personality reset is the fastest way to reprogram and redesign what your brain thinks and therefore how you feel and act. Your thoughts and feelings determine your behaviors, and your behaviors determine your results. So if we want to shift our results, we actually need to start at the start of the chain. And that's exactly what we do. This process takes 1 month. If you want to learn more about it, you can DM me on Instagram, get in touch with my team, and we'll help you see if this is the right fit for you. If you're someone that's very hardworking, if someone that's serious about making change quickly, it's not a shortcut, but we don't have fucking time to waste. It is a shortcut, but it's not a shortcut for people that are looking for no effort. You know, if you're a lazy prick that doesn't want to actually put the work in, then don't message us. But if you're someone that's serious about getting the success and reaching the potential you know you have as fast as fucking imaginable, send us a message. DM me the word video. Yeah, just DM us the word video and we'll have a talk. We'll get to know you, get to know your situation. I look forward to talking to you then.